Queen began to speak again before Dark Eagle grabbed her arm. We will not be disrespected any further. Either you speak to us in a respectful manner, or we will leave. The Abenians shouted, Leave? Leave. Motherfucker, you're about to die. We'll kill the elders after we're finished with you. Wanyenyekevu touched Dark Eagle and Queen as the Abenians shouted, Guards. The guards outside the door and all the guards inside the chamber's hallways entered. Wanyenyekevu said, Wait a minute, now. This is not a fair fight. You have 8 arms, 3 legs, and a tail. You must have one hell of a reach, don't you? His comments confused Queen and the guards as he continued, When we are finished, the entire room shall die, and not one of us will have to break a sweat doing so. The Abenian said as he looked at himself in a mirror while the guards stood in the ready position, confused. What do you speak about, little man, and who are you? Wanyenyekevu smiled, I am Sabaoth's messenger, and we are your worst enemies. Oedipus and Abony B6 have perished because of me and my men, and so shall you and your men. The Abenian opened its mouth to say something, but before he could get a word out, Wanyenyekevu threw a star, which struck the Abenian in his throat. As he grabbed his throat, he threw another one, and it penetrated the center of his skull, falling to the ground, revealing its identity before it incinerated into a puff of dark smoke. Wanyenyekevu shouted, Iwa. The guards surrounded them and attacked, but Grace raced towards them and slit each of their throats as they stood there gasping for air and holding their necks while the rest of the warriors killed them. They destroyed everyone in sight and left not one of them alive. Dark Eagle and his family just stood there in awe as Wanyenyekevu said to Obe, You guys take care of the rest while me and Grace look around with Dark Eagle and Queen. Grace, with great speed, raced through the area, searching documents and computer files and checking for helpful information. I think you guys need to take a look at this, Grace said as she handed some documents to Wanyenyekevu. Wanyenyekevu looked over the documents and handed them over to Dark Eagle. I don't know these people, but it sounds like you have a big problem at home. Just then, Obe walked in with the rest. What about the civilians? Same as usual, let's see whose heart is in the right place, Wanyenyekevu said. As a matter of fact, it looks like there is a need for some spring cleaning at Dark Eagle's camp. So, I will handle the civilians. I need you and Daniel to take half of the men back home and send a Mardad to decipher this information ASAP. The rest will stay here. I will take Dark Eagle and Queen back to their horses and return as soon as possible myself. Dark Eagle took the documents. I have to sit down. These last few minutes have me. Queen and her cousins took a seat next to Dark Eagle. Confused, Queen said, You want to explain to us what just happened? How? Wanyenyekevu smiled, Sabaoth, but I will explain it all on the ride back to your city. But I must first check these civilians. The men, women, and children all stood in a line waiting for Wanyenyekevu. I am not here to harm you, unless you try to harm me, but I need to speak to each of you before I leave. Wanyenyekevu took less than 30 minutes to see all the people living at the site. He chose 20 people to stay while forcing the rest to leave. Daniel, Jome, and Alicia escorted the people out of the area while the rest were questioned and released. Wanyenyekevu prepared to leave alongside Dark Eagle, for Obe and Daniel had already left, leaving the rest behind to get rid of the bodies. A high officer, a family member, and a dear old friend are the masterminds behind the trafficking in the area, and it breaks my heart, said Dark Eagles with a heavy heart.